Welcome to the podcast where we're harvesting humor, planting delight. Join us, Iona and Cammy. Let's have some fun. It's time for Fed by Farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
We're back with another one, a Tuesday. We've got an interview today. Mr. Derek Steen from the Coxhill Beef Shorthorns. I was going to say he's my first beef shorthorn guy, but actually we had John Scott on as well.
That's
beef
right.
Shorthorns. And that was partly how that all came about, actually, just chatting about
Oh,
off
was
camera. Well, I was thinking about beef shorthorns anyway because of the Morrison Steaks, as I
Oh,
mentioned last week.
yeah.
And then John just happened to mention he's got some beef shorthorns and might sell some. And 24 later, you're looking at the mouse.
Sorry, I don't
I've set the camera up so you can see the mouse. His hole is right behind me, so to speak. Might be a she.
It's doing the graft. It's been non-stop this morning.
So I found out he's pinching the pig rolls. There's pig rolls in here, and that's what he likes about it. So he goes and he drags a whole pig roll all the way back. For anybody listening in audio, there is a mouse that runs right behind us as we're speaking.
He's not sure what to do there. It's kind of jammed. Oh, I got a fright.
Oh, you got a fright because I looked round. Look at him right behind us.
I
Like
know.
so bold as.
I know.
He's literally jammed his wee pig roll right on the hole.
Oh.
Good wee poem. Hopefully I can see it in the camera and I'll cut it later. Anyway, that's a bit of fun. So, Iona, who's
Yes.
sponsoring the podcast?
Crystalyx and Hairdwatch.
Yes, thanks to Crystalyx and to Hairdwatch. I've been putting my standard Crystalyx buckets out, which are the blue ones, standard cattle. Out. They're hammering them, which makes me think they're probably needing them.
Right,
So,
okay.
it's probably also that thing with cows in the shed, there's nothing else to do, so they just
Kind of bored
whip
me.
them. Yeah, it's like sheep in the shed will absolutely nail the Crystalyx, but then sheep in the shed, I suppose, are usually pregnant and desperately need it. But then so are my cows, are due in January.
Yeah.
So probably maybe another couple of weeks and I'll switch them on. Well, actually probably this week I could switch them on to pre-caver. I would think there's a yellow pre-calving bucket. In
Right.
fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch those big heifers onto that. And then the rest of them are due in April. They can work away on the standard cattle bucket. And Hairdwatch.
Yeah, the UK's largest livestock management app.
Yes, you just nailed it. We have a little wee speech to do in this one too. Why don't you record a new one? I'll get a new script from them. We can do a new one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hairdwatch actually incredible. I got a new Jersey cow, and yeah, let's just bust that. It's not in the sheep game yet, but I got a Jersey cow. More to come. But the big thing was when we did the Scotty ID move, it just goes straight on my Hairdwatch.
So handy.
So her name's Connie, and I can just see her on my Hairdwatch.
Connie's a nice name.
Nice.
Do all Jersey cows get named, like actual names, or is that just because you've got one?
I'm not saying they all get named. I don't think, like, yeah, maybe they do actually. Maybe they do. Pass. I'm just
Okay.
thinking like Leanne with her 200 odd. Like,
Yeah, surely they've not all
would
got
you
a
name
name.
them all? Like, I wouldn't think so. But it's not that hard to. You don't need to remember the names. You just write the names as a pedigree.
Yeah.
Good question. Jersey people, let us know. So thanks to them for sponsoring the podcast. You'll hear more about them later in the show. Now we are wont for blethering a lot at the start, but I think we're better to blether a bit more at the end where we just dive in and hear from Derek. So I say Derek's the Coxhill head of Shorthorns. He's a fantastic story of how he's built his farm business up and ended up where he has. Cindy, his wife's another big part of the business. She's not on the podcast, but she's just sitting behind him, making sure he doesn't get out of line. So please enjoy the podcast. Here's Derek. And we're here with Mr. Derek Steen from Coxhill Farm. What area is that in, Derek?
That's in Dumfriesshire, Cammy. We live just on the edge of Moffat, a very nice part of the world.
Is that dairy country down there?
Not really. We're just on the edge of what you might call dairy country. You go about 15 miles further south, Lockerbie, and towards Dumfriesshire into dairy cow country.
Aye.
We're beef cattle and sheep.
And quite a Dumfriesshire accent you've got there.
No,
I was like, what? I thought he was Irish.
Aye, so how
that
did you
accent came with me, Cammy, when I moved from Ireland.
and is that south or north?
No, mid-Ulster, County Tyrone, I was born.
Which, excuse my absolute ignorance, but that is the north.
That's the north.
That's the north, yeah. What year did you come over here?
1995.
Okay. And how did that come about?
That came about because I was born on a small farm. It wasn't a full-time family farm, and there were 4 boys, and the farm certainly wasn't able to cater for 4 of us. So one got the farm and the other 3 got an education, and off we went. And I worked for 6 or 7 years as farm manager for McGuckin Livestock, as they were then.
Was that in Ireland?
In Ireland, they were the first to bring slatted sheds to Britain.
Is that right? Like a traditional, just concrete slatted sheds?
Concrete slatted sheds back in this, I'm going to say the 70s, 80s. They had a big business called Mastock Systems, but I wasn't involved in that. I was the farm manager. And I started farming in a very small way, as you do, hobby. And that grew a bit. And it was very, very expensive in Northern Ireland to get land or get a start. So I ended up buying a hill farm in Northumberland, on the Northumberland-Scottish border. And that was really me starting in farming.
And what hill farm was that?
That was a farm called Catclough, 500 acres. You wouldn't praise it and say it was a good farm. It was a very nicely located, scenic farm, massive big farmhouse. We could do B&B. And not after coming to live there, I met Cindy.
Yep. Cindy, of course, your now wife.
Yeah.
Cindy is behind the camera, just for viewers. She is here today. And so, I mean, I know Northumberland fairly well. I lamb sheep down there a lot and done a lot of shearing down there. What part of Northumberland is that in?
It's in the Reed Valley, the A68, the main road. If you follow the 68 from Ponteal and Newcastle Airport north,
Yep.
right up to Edinburgh, but you go over the Carter Bar is the border.
Okay.
If you know where the Carter Bar is, that's the Scottish-English border, and Catclough was about 3 miles south of the Carter Bar.
So pretty close. They're not far over the border then at all,
Not
really.
far at all. Howick was the nearest shopping town.
Aye, okay.
Right.
So you are to Scotland for it then. And what stock are you running there?
I brought with me 40 suckler cows and just my ewe lambs, really. I did then and still do run a flock of Clin sheep, but I didn't think the ewes would enjoy the move from Northern Ireland to a hill farm in Northumberland. So I sold them and just brought my ewe lambs as the seed stock for future farming. I took over the lock, stock and barrel, the sheep, cattle and machinery that were on the farm, and that was 21 cows and 480 Cheviot cross ewes. And we built up from there, and I wasn't very long there till I was needing to rent some land, which I did on the Scottish side of the border at Bonchester Bridge. And then we were lucky to be offered the tenancy on a farm called Westerhouses, just outside Bonchester Bridge. And Cindy and I were together by that time, and we moved to live there as part of the deal for the tenancy. And we lived and farmed there, and up until 2002, yeah. And then the landlord came to see us one day, and he said, bad news for you. I'm going to have to, either good news or bad news. He says, I'm going to have to sell the farm. But it was 1,000 acres, and we couldn't possibly dream that we'd be able to...
In Bayacre, this isn't a hill farm, this one? Or it is still...
And in a good stock farm. You could grow barley and we did grow barley at Westerhouses. Not an arable farm, but a good upland stock farm.
Yep.
But it was sold in lots in the summer of 2002, and we were lucky enough to buy 400 acres and the yard and cottages.
Brilliant.
But in the meantime, while that was all happening, we'd saw Whitcastle's farm at Lockerbie on Castlemilk Estates up for let, and we said, well, if we can't buy Westerhouses, we're out in our ear, and here's an opportunity to rent a farm. So we put in an application, had an interview, and were successful, and rented Whitcastle's, which is 670 acres. And again, as part of the tenancy, we had to move to live at Whitcastle's, which worked out fine because we didn't buy the house at Westerhouses.
Yes, you just got the land and a
Just the
cottage. You
land.
said, was it a?
The land and 5 cottages.
Five
actually,
cottages,
which
right.
were in varying degrees of disrepair. 2 of them were inhabited. We renovated another one. So we had a stockman by this stage. He lived in one of the cottages and we let the other 2.
And what year are we talking about here?
That all started to rock and roll in 2002.
Okay.
And we farmed wet castles and Wester houses and the land. We'd sold the house and 20 acres of Catclough, but we still had the land. And as time went by, over the next 10 years, we rented other bits of land and farms, and as one does when you're trying to push forward. We finished up 2015, we were farming 3,000 ewes and 400 suckler cows.
Wow.
And those were mostly bred from black Angus West of Ireland cows run with a Charolais bull. We had introduced a Solaire bull to breed our own females. And the herd was by and large homebred. We bred all our own, kept our own heifers. And around about 2010, we became aware of the stabilizer breed. And we had a visit from Richard Fuller, the guy that was in charge of the stabilizer. Were just in their infancy in this country at that time. He encouraged us to crisscross our Solaire cross cows with a stabilizer bull, and a couple of generations they were then described as stabilizers, which is a hybrid breed. And we had also introduced ourselves to the Shorthorn breed. The Solaire cross cows we had at Whitcastles, there was a cubicles for 100 cows, but they were old-fashioned, not very big, and the big Solaire cows struggled a bit to live in that accommodation. And we thought if we put a Shorthorn bull in along with them, it might bring the size down, make them a wee bit easier maintained. And that's what we did. And we bought a very good Shorthorn bull of a friend of mine in Ireland. And when Craig Faddock Zimba, his name was, and when we saw the progeny of him, we said, this bull's breeding well, there's some good calves here. Maybe we should buy a Shorthorn heifer or 2 just to. So we went to Perth to the bull sales and we bought 3 Shorthorn heifers from the Dunsar herd. And that started us on the path to breed pure Shorthorns. Over the next 6 or 8 years, we built up a herd of a couple of hundred Shorthorn cows, 175 pedigree cows I think we had at one time.
Right.
As part of our total.
Is there many
3
herds
hits.
bigger than that?
There wasn't at that time, no. But anyway, in 2015, we decided it was time to do a bit less. I was retiring age. So we put Westerhouse's farm on the market and we had a major reduction sale of our Shorthorns and downscaled to less than 100 cows. We sold our stabilizer herd lock, stock and barrel to somebody in East Yorkshire that was wanting to, an arable farmer that wanted to start cattle. So that worked out very well for us. So in recent years now, we have been farming about 70 pedigree Shorthorn cows. Cindy actually has the herd, the Coxhill herd. I'm just the gaffer. And nowadays,
Or the lackey, maybe more like.
that's
Yeah.
the gopher.
Yeah, the gopher. So that's quite a good sum of a lot of things, but I suppose we need to dissect some of it. Do you know what I love, Iona? All my livestock on one simple app.
Hi, Cammy. Next you'll be telling me your cows can send emails.
Well, they can't do that yet, but with HerdWatch, managing livestock is easy. One app, all your cattle and sheep compliance records, medicine tracking and more, right there in your pocket. Tired of paperwork piling up like muck in the parlour? Sick of chasing scraps of paper when you'd rather be chasing sheep? Then you need Herdwatch.
Herdwatch lets you register calves before you've even wiped the afterbirth off your boots.
I preferred it when it said feet. It's so quick, I had time left to make a cuppa and drink it. I know you guys love this bit.
Whether you're juggling lambing, TB testing, or just trying to remember where you left your wellies, Herdwatch makes sure your records are always up to scratch.
Over 22,000 farmers across the UK and Ireland can't all be wrong. Well, not this time.
Download Herdwatch now and join the herd, because the only thing you should be wrestling is the gate on a windy day.
Herdwatch, farm smarter, not harder. I mean, first of all, from being a farm manager over on Ireland to then getting a start over here, obviously land would be, to you coming from Northern Ireland, it would seem cheap as chips over here.
That was
and
right.
that is still true 20 years later.
The ambition was to rent a farm. I said, I only want the land of a farm to keep me going for the next whatever years I have, but I never could see a tenancy that I wanted. And a friend of mine who lived in Yorkshire had phoned me and said, there's a farm in Northumberland, Derek, you better come and look at. And that was Catclough, and it was a lovely scenic setting. It wasn't a very good farm, but it gave us a stepping stone, and we got a start, and we seemed to have a few lucky breaks as we went along.
And were you able to finance that just from selling off some of your stock back in Ireland?
Some and some. I owned a small 20 acres with a house in Stedding in Ireland. I didn't sell that immediately because I didn't know would I want to live in the wilds of Northumberland. But I did eventually sell it, yes. And
Right.
that put a bit. But no, I was lucky to find a very kind bank manager in the Clydesdale Bank as they were then, and he lent me the money to pay for Catclough at 16% fixed rate interest. And you young guys nowadays think that 4 or 5% is hard work.
Yeah. Those were the days of expensive money. Although it does come back to the old thing where now I did see someone make a great point that I would love to be able to buy a farm at £2,000 an acre at 16% rather than £8,000.
Yeah,
That's quite true.
Yeah.
We weren't talking as much money.
Aye,
then.
that was
Yeah.
and there's, well, to be fair though, there's probably not much more profit in farming back that, farming, this is this is way back in the 80s, is it?
No, this was in the 90s.
90s,
I
so
came
really
in-
difficult time for farming.
I had to live through BSE,
Yep.
and then we had to live through Foot and Mouth,
Foot and mouth earlier, yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
Did you get hit hard with that, or were you?
We were in the
parts of Northumberland
borders.
got it.
We weren't hit hard, but we did lose sheep.
Okay.
We had sheep taken. Sheep at we were at Westerhouses at that time, and the sheep at Catclough were taken because we'd no way of feeding them or getting to them.
Oh, without crossing
Yeah.
boundaries? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
We couldn't break. We normally would bring them back to Westerhouse to lamb. We weren't allowed to do that.
And were your tenants, was that a secure tenancy you got on the bit?
At
Was it
no.
West Houses?
No, short-term tenancy.
Was it?
So we were.
So they really pulled the rug from you when they come in and says,
It did a bit. Did a bit. But again, we were lucky. We managed to buy 400 acres of the total.
Yeah.
It went in a three-way split. 2 neighbours, one on each side, bought a
Right.
chunk, and we got.
And can you mind how much land was back? This is 2002, was it? This Westerhouses?
Aye.
About that much was land back then. Can you mind?
I wouldn't embarrass you. I know you've just bought a farm.
Well, aye. So it's bound to be cheap on this year, yeah.
It wasn't.
Would you be down at 2,000 an acre or less, or
No, it wasn't. Maybe less than that, but it was less than $1 million for the.
is that right? For 400 acre and 5 cottages?
It.
Wow, that's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking. Cammy, don't listen to
I
that.
get 14 acres and 2 cottages.
As I said, we
Jeez.
like yourself and everybody else. We all need a lucky break or two, and that was a lucky
Yeah.
break for
Yeah,
us
yeah.
because the way the farm was marketed and carved up, and the neighbours wanted what they wanted.
Yeah, there's no
and-
competition. Not too much competition for
Aye.
you. Yeah. And Castlemilk, actually, no, Castlemilk estate have
been involved with some people that work there, and there's obviously a massive amount of property on that estate. You know, of a lot of farms. Quite a few I think they're taking back in hand now. Heaps and heaps of residential property, I believe.
Yeah, over 200 houses on Castlemilk Estate.
I residential houses. Yeah. I believe that. Yeah, absolutely. It's an absolute monster of an estate down there. Quite a lot of really good farms as well.
Aye, Castlemilk runs from west of Lockerbie, where there is some good dairy, arable land, very good farms, and we were 6 miles east of Lockerbie, so we were up on the hill. There's 26,000 acres in Castlemilk Estate, and half of it would be hill and half of it would be good.
Is that right? That'd be
So
pretty.
who would own that?
It is owned by a family.
It's owned by the Buchanan Jardine family.
Yeah, it's privately owned.
Right.
I think his son runs it now, or something
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
when we were offered the tenancy at Whitcastles, it was Sir Rupert Buchanan Jardine and his son Johnny at that time.
Yep.
Now, we weren't long there till Sir Rupert passed, and Johnny took over inherited the title, so he became Sir Johnny, and he ran the estate for the last 20 years or so.
Right.
And recently now his son Jamie has come back taken over the estate, and there are changes. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of changes, but I suppose that for another podcast. But the interesting. I wonder if this land reform thing's going to worry them at all, because they'll fall into that category of owning the amount of land they own. Like they're going to fall into that a little bit. But again, that's a story for another day. Down that way, and just thinking about it, actually, they're not actually far off the size of Lilburn Estate. At that, I think I want to say Lilburn Estate's 30,000, but that could be wrong. But speaking of Lilburn Estate, just when it popped in my head there, they were obviously big in the stabiliser cattle as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And they'd be quite close to you.
Aye, well, they were the other side of the Cheviot Hills.
Yeah.
And we did do a bit of business with them, bought a bull or two, and they bought a bull of us, and so on, yeah.
Yep.
Davy Heads, this cattleman at Lilburn, we had good relationship with him back in those days.
Yeah, I want to say they have 2,000 breeding cows.
Oh my!
You could be right.
Yeah,
you could be right.
I mean, massive. The cattle sheds are unbelievable. Like,
yeah, they had 12 and 1,400 back in the.
Back then, aye. So yeah,
It could be.
Yeah.
noughties,
And the stabiliser's not one I know much about. I know she's obviously a hybrid cow. I know they're very strict. Tell me if I'm right. They're you can't sell a beast without it being tested. Is that right? You have to get someone into.
If you want to be what they call a multiplier,
Which is
a breeder that records and performance records the cattle.
Okay.
And DNAs them, as you say. You can then market your heifers and bulls through the stabiliser cattle company.
Okay. So you can only. It's an American company, am I right? Is that American?
Well, no, it's a British company now. It was.
The idea came from America.
The idea came from Lee Leachman in America, yeah.
So to use their branding essentially and to call it a stabiliser, you have to do this testing.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, which is fair enough to keep the standard high.
They're not a pedigree as such.
Yeah.
Like Aberdeen Angus or Shorthorn.
But some would argue they're held to a higher standard than a pedigree, because anything can be a pedigree if you just register it, with minimal testing. Whereas
Well, nowadays DNAs.
yeah, but you know what I mean. You don't have to meet a criteria to register a pedigree beast.
That's right.
You get a lot of bad pedigree beasts,
absolutely.
and good ones. But I suppose with stabilisers, they're keeping the standard.
But when we decided to retire, we had to decide which we were going to keep. And we opted to keep the Shorthorns because they were, well, just a favourite, really, colour and the opportunity to sell the odd bull at that time. We weren't big pedigree breeders. We were very much commercial, but over the last 10 years, we've probably, Cindy has pushed the pedigree side a bit more, and we're now sell pedigree bulls and heifers to some advantage.
Crystalyx Extra High Energy feed blocks have been providing high energy supplementation to ewes, lambs and rams in the UK since 1978. Packed full of protein, vitamins, minerals and trace elements, Crystalyx Extra High Energy has been proven to increase live lamb numbers and improve lamb daily live weight gain at a cost of only 4 to 7 pence per ewe per day. To view the full Crystalyx range and find your nearest stockist, visit crystalyx-global.com.
But to touch on some of the breeds you got there, because one from a learning point for myself, and I'm sure for Iona as well, but like you mentioned Salers there as well. You went to, or you started bringing Salers in to produce your females over your Angus crosses, etc. Salers seems to be absolutely flying just now as well, real popular beast.
That's right.
What made you switch away from that?
Just
because
the
you wanted
size of the cow to fit the farm, really. Whitcastle's it's an upland farm. As I said, their cubicles for 100 cows, but they weren't brand new. You know, they've been
but low ceiling type thing.
Smaller. The sheds were put up to accommodate smaller cows. Yeah. So.
And a Salers is smaller than a Shorthorn.
No, a Shorthorn's smaller than a Salers.
Sorry, yeah. A Shorthorn smaller. Is that right?
That is
because
right.
these Shorthorns out there, I think, are massive.
Yeah,
but a Salers bigger than that.
You can. That's the beauty about a Shorthorn, Cammy. You can have her whatever size you like.
Well,
She'll grow, as my father told me, she'll grow into your farm.
Right, okay.
And if you have a lovely green, grassy farm in Ayrshire, you can grow them as big as you want. But if you have a harder hill farm in Dumfriesshire or in the Cheviot Hills, you can. She'll not obviously grow as big. And
well,
they're very versatile.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what you think of mine when they're out there, because I think James Nisbet was up there a week and he said he'd never seen cows as fat. So,
oh really?
Some of the heifers especially have been too good. Ian says we need to tighten them up a wee bit just so they're not too big for calving. But we'll get the debrief on that when you see them.
I think you've been blessed with the weather this summer, Cammy, as we all have in the west of Scotland.
Yeah.
Our heifers have never been as fit as they are now. But we've had, I'll sign up for 10 summers like this right now.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I know there's other people.
And the spring was unbelievable as well.
So, I think we're blessed. Our cattle are all in good form.
If you were a young fella starting with cattle now and going to breed commercial cattle, what's the route you're going? Away from the pedigree thing, you know, because you're talking about these Salers, Angus crosses, and your stabilisers. You know, if you're going, you know, go back in time and you're about to start a commercial herd with what you've learned over the years, what way are you going?
Well, we end up going with whatever's our favourite. It mightn't always be the one that is economically.
we say that, don't we say that? We always say in this podcast, in the UK, we're blessed that we can work with whatever beast we like.
Aye, and we do.
We don't have to worry about the one that makes the best profit.
Cindy and I keep Shorthorns because we enjoy them.
Yeah,
the temperament, the ease of management, they tick an awful lot of boxes. But if I was your age, I might buy a Simmental bull and put them in with some of the cows and produce Simmental cross Shorthorn heifers, just because the market at the moment is strong for good quality breeding cattle.
Okay.
And I think if I had 20 Shorthorn cross Simmental, nicely coloured, good heifers to sell, I think I might quite enjoy the day out.
I think that's probably fair. I just saw the report actually from I might pronounce it on the Cadscow brothers.
Cadzo brothers.
Ling sale. I think they do it every year.
Yeah.
I want to say that in-calf heifers average $4,000.
Yeah.
Oh my
for Ling in-calf heifers, $4,000 average.
There is. I'm delighted to see it, and we all should be. There's now a demand for breeding cattle in Britain at long last.
Yes.
For breeding beef cattle.
Yep. Absolutely. It's flying.
But it shouldn't have needed to be.
No.
They shouldn't have forced the numbers off the land in the first place.
No, absolutely. I was looking actually at the stats this morning because we spoke to Neil Jeffrey from QMS a wee while ago, didn't we? And I was kind of pushing hard on him that the QMS should be doing an advert or all this nonsense about cows destroying the planet all the time. And we're saying, farmers need to do their part, etc. Well, I'd be saying we've done our part. The suckler herd in Scotland is down almost 200,000 cattle in the last 20 years or something like that. So like, well, we've done our part. We've taken 20% or 30% of the cattle away.
Yeah.
Right, we've done our bit. Now there's not enough beef to eat.
Yeah.
Right, over to use, whether that be aviation, whatever, use other companies around the world. Your turn. We've done our bit. That's what I'd be saying.
Exactly.
And I know it's not
agree entirely, but
I know we've not completely done it for. Mostly we've done it because there's been no money in it, and older farmers moving out.
Yep.
It's just not been a good financial option. But now, as you say, we're seeing a resurgence.
yeah.
And would you say you're more of a cattle man than a sheep man? Is that where your passion is?
No, we've always kept like 50-50 sheep and cattle.
Right, okay.
If when you're starting off, and you don't need me to tell you this, Cammy, when you're starting off, it's easier to get into sheep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a lot less investment, and you can rent a bit of ground and buy 100 ewes and kick and scream and get yourself started some one way or the other.
Yeah, a few hurdles in the corner of the field
But
and get them dozed.
Sheep do better when they're mixed with cattle.
100%. That's one problem we've had in the last couple of years is ground that we rent each year just having sheep.
Sheep sick.
Getting sheep sick. Yeah.
No, it is possible to farm 100% sheep, but the management needs to be ace, and you need to be, rotationally grazing and on top of your worm burdens and
Yep.
probably reseeding or growing forage crops or.
Well, and the two, reseeding's definitely a big factor, especially with sheep. Cattle can put flesh on. I mean, they heifers have been on just rough grass that'll never have been reseeded, and they put flesh on.
Yep.
Sheep like that sugar, that sweet, powerful protein grass, the short stuff. But the two of them working together is a big thing. One thing for me as well is, and you'll know this as well, as does many people, I suppose, with sheep, there's far too much grass in the summer, and there's never enough in the winter.
You can't stock a farm with just sheep unless you have like an arable back run for them for the winter, or you have some other option for wintering them, housing them and making silage for them. It's difficult. It's easier if you have a mixed farm.
100%. That's what I'm looking forward to, growing the cattle herd and taking the pressure off this. One, keeping landlords happy that, this grass is getting away, we need more sheep. But you're like, well, I've just put them over there to keep that, to keep the grass down there. Now you've got the cattle, or even
Silage.
Shut 100 acres off and forget about it.
You have to, when you have cattle, you have to provide for them in the winter. So that's an easy way of utilising your extra grass in the summertime, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And it was clean sheep you spoke about. You're still cleans?
We still have clins, yeah.
Have you ever podcast guest? I think when it goes out, it'll be last week with Michael Cursiter on for a chat as well at Lager.
Yes.
Have you ever bought a Lager tup?
We have bought a lager tup, and I'm glad to say Michael has bought several of our tups. So
Good. He's actually a shorthorn man now as well.
a bit, yeah.
He's starting to get.
He's working that
starting,
way.
yeah.
He seems quite tickled with him.
From a man that was dyed in the wool limmy breeder.
Yes, it's nice to see actually. More coming that way.
Yeah.
But so, if you're buying tups off him and he's buying back off you, you must be pretty good at it. He's fussy, Michael. He's fussy.
Well, we're thereabouts with our tups that we sell. We've been up to 9,000 for Clin tups. So.
Yeah. Okay.
What's one of your sort of highlights from over the years from farming?
Meeting Cindy.
Like it.
She came to do the lambing and never went home.
Oh, that's not dissimilar to my story a wee bit. Yeah, there we go.
Really?
Seen a
So that's how
worker,
you met?
seen a worker and thought that's the one.
Yep.
Yeah. Good way to get paying for the lambing, isn't it?
It keeps the cost down.
Safe. But aside from the love of your life being met through farming, great always asking, I know what you're getting on to, Iona, asking pedigree guys like yourself that go to these big sales with bulls and things. Is there a big highlight from a sale? Obviously, you've got a lot. I'd say you have a lot of highlights there for how you've. I'm not saying you fell on your feet. You've worked hard for it, but like your ducks have lined up perfectly at times.
Exactly. A bit of luck is needed all the way, and we.
I say it all the time.
But
Absolutely.
you do need a little bit of stockman skill too.
Oh,
You're
100%.
selecting bulls and matching them to cows and getting the breeding right. And the breeds that sheep and cattle that we're involved in, they're so diverse. They can fit top of a hill or the bottom of the valley, and the cattle that you might want on your farm or the sheep that you might want might not do well on my farm.
Yep.
I'll not say the breed wouldn't do well, but you maybe have to tweak the breed a bit. Like Michael Cursiter's in Orkney, he's got the best of land. Stock grow well in Orkney, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
His clean sheep.
And,
you know,
and
they're-
cattle. All the
yeah.
biggest cattle come from Orkney.
Yeah.
Like, they don't like wee Kai up there.
But I've only two passions in life, and one of them is breeding livestock, and that's what I like to have realised over the years I'm quite good at, and that's what we do, and we seem to have been quite successful.
So when Iona asks you that question, there must be something that jumps in your head that, even if it's that first time you nail it at the market, you know, like Iona's dad tells a story about the first time he went in there and got a big turn at Lanark. Or there must be a memory where you're like, because do you not feel like now you're doing very good with it? Does it not go from like that excitement to almost like a bit of pressure now, like
To keep it up.
to keep it up?
Well,
Like, there must be a moment,
it
that
does
breakthrough
and
where
it
you're
doesn't,
like,
'cause-
we're the boy, you know, we're doing it now.
Although I have got family and grandkids and things, they're not wanting to farm. They have more sense. So Cindy and I are not under pressure to
Pass something on,
pass
essentially.
something on, which sometimes frustrates me and disappoints me, but it means that we are not feeling every spring that we must get this done, we must get that done, we have to achieve this to keep it for the kids. The kids will get it, but they're unlikely to farm it. So. But to go back to your point about the highlight, I suppose, I can't remember how long ago it was, we bred a bull called Coxhill Magnum, and he was breed champion at Stirling, and he made what was then the record price of £20,000. That was a landmark day, really, when we had worked our way up for being commercial cattlemen and into pedigree and brought our pedigree herd to the level where you produced a champion bull.
Yeah.
That'll be one of the highlights, and we had a £20,000 bull this year in Stirling. So
And now it's just the norm.
I wouldn't quite say that.
You said
And how many bulls did you sell this year?
In 2025, we've sold about 16.
Have you? Aye. And do you know your average for those bulls? You do, but you're wondering if you should tell me.
7,000, a little over 7,000.
Is that right? That's fantastic.
That is amazing.
And one at 20, obviously. Was that the top price that's still in this year, or?
Was there another one at 20,000 this year? No, ours was the top this year. There's one at 21 last year.
Right.
Wow.
The next one was 18 this year.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
But it was, it's good money, but it's not for nothing. You have disappointments. You can have tears. One of the best cows we have calved about 6 weeks ago. Beautiful heifer calf, apple of my eye. It took meningitis last week, and it's still with us. But
It'll never do the same.
no, it's not all red ribbons and fun.
No.
Well, I know it's definitely not all red ribbons, because I was 7th out of 9, but with my calf at the stars of the future. But sorry, you're going to ask.
No, I was going to say, so you said you had two passions in life. What was your other?
Family.
Family. And what family do you have?
I have 3 daughters and 5 grandchildren.
Right. Okay. And do they live quite nearby?
No. One daughter in Gateshead, one in Spain, and one in Enniskillen, County Fermanagh.
Oh, so did she go back to Ireland?
No, she didn't come.
Oh, right. That was before you moved over. Right, with you.
So well spread out then.
Yeah, I know.
So you've got a lot of running about to do to see grandma's.
That's right. Or the trick is to get the grandwit kids to come and see us.
Yeah.
Perk of a farm.
That's it.
And they really, really enjoy
Do they?
farming. they're not farmers, so it's all new for them. It's all
It'll
fun.
be exciting, yeah.
Yeah. So none of them married into farming? None of
No.
the lassies? No.
No. The lassies is all more sense. They've all good careers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think their dad's not halfway. He's doing what he does, but there we go.
It's a common story though. It is. It's very, very common, especially the generation. Because I imagine they'll be 40, 35, 40 kind of age,
Aye, and a bit more.
and a bit, yeah. So that kind of generation, certainly when farming was pretty tight,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and it wasn't. It's getting sexier these days with, well, I suppose beef prices and things getting a bit more more technology, more equipment.
Yeah, that is true.
Things a bit more forward. Even social media, and you can see what other people are
Yeah,
up
yeah.
to. Before it was just a struggle and
A grind.
a grind.
But then if you had 1,000 acres of combinable crops in Lincolnshire this summer, you'd probably think it wasn't much fun either.
True.
You know, everybody gets a turn, but you don't often get two turns.
No,
No,
that's
no.
a fair point. But that's where, well, sheep especially has been so good for, touch
Yeah.
wood. The last 5 years of sheep has been fantastic, and
Sheep have been,
and beef's now getting to where sheep is. It's coming up to the level of sheep.
Yeah.
In fact, arguably maybe above it at the moment.
the only trouble with the beef is the level of investment.
Yeah.
You need
But that's why we're not seeing
good infrastructure for beef, whereas, as we said, you can keep a few sheep,
sheep anywhere.
or you can keep a lot of sheep.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle I think QMS are going to have with their push to increase all the herds a little bit and get more suckler cows on is, well, I'm doing, we've bought 24 breeding females this year to a cost of almost £80,000. Like, that's a lot of money to lay out on a beast that if it drops dead or if the price changes.
Right?
Or,
Oh, aye.
100%.
You can have tiers, as I said.
yeah.
It doesn't.
And is there those young ones coming in, as you say, that have got the infrastructure and the setup to then go and folk that want the heartache of calving cows,
And the actual
Yeah.
physical labour.
Aye.
Where's the labour coming from nowadays? This is a big issue in the farming industry.
Yeah.
We haven't got the people to.
That's definitely a point, a correct point. Although I wouldn't just say farming, I would say work. Folk wanting to work in general across all sectors seems to be the case, but that's another rant we could go on. Do you finish your own beasts? Do you finish everything?
No, not everything. With our male calves, we go through them. Have just gone through them a month ago at weaning time. Pick out the better ones to keep for bulls, and then there's a second draw that might make a bull, and then the bottom end are castrated, so they're steers, and they will probably be sold as forward stores next spring, April, May time.
Okay.
It's we can't compete. I can take my store cattle to Sterling and get a price from guys in Aberdeen and Angus that are on big arable setups and have potato waste at £5 a tonne.
Yeah, you can't finish a beast like
in
them.
Dumfriesshire, we can't competitively finish them. We do finish some, and obviously every bull you keep for breeding doesn't make a breeding bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll have had the feeding put into them, so they can
Yeah.
always finish
Well,
easy enough.
so
Yeah.
finish us.
But that seems to be the same theme that everybody says these days, is that you just cannot finish cattle as well as these big guys. So forward stores is the
it's
job.
efficiency.
It's the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what we're saying. They have the setup, they have the investment made, they have the machinery, the yards, the infrastructure, they have the
Staff's there doing it every day.
contracts with the factories.
Yes. Well, like Ross Brothers is a big one,
Yeah.
with Jim Fowley in a couple of weeks ago. He's doing 1,600 a year.
Yeah.
He's a lot of Angus he buys right enough, but Ross Brothers are, I mean, Ross Brothers could be the biggest farmers in the country. In terms of livestock, I don't know.
I'm delighted to say
It'd be much bigger.
the last I showed 28 bullocks in August in Sterling, and Gavin Ross bought them all, only one. They were shorthorn crosses or shorthorn bullocks, and that's what he likes because he's right beside turf and he can get the shorthorn premium on his fat cattle.
Yeah, fantastic. I know Gavin's actually on my radar for. He has said he'll come in for a podcast.
Great.
It's just you can imagine what it's like trying to pin him down. We all got on it, and I want to ask him. Someone told me last week that it was a week last year, that, or maybe it was this year, that he had 600 cattle in to ABP in the 1 week.
Goodness.
600 in the 1 week.
Unreal.
Allegedly. That's all alleged. I'll ask Gavin when we see him.
Yeah.
We get him in. That'd be a good one. So, obviously, girls aren't coming through. You're working with, you do have staff though. You've got quite an.
We have one full-time stockman, a
Right.
very trustworthy, reliable chap that we're lucky to have. And if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't be farming, because we're at the time of life we want to do other things as well as work every day.
Yeah.
And when you've stock, it's not so easy to get away unless you've somebody trustworthy at home. That would be the tick side of having family coming on. You could,
Yeah. They take over and you get more free time, and and you know, you can breed them your way and shape them to look after and do things as you like it done. Which is, of course, is a big highlight for and how farming's been for generations. I suppose. But you're happy you're working away with your Shorthorns. You're going to keep producing pedigree bulls and pedigree heifers, and
for the foreseeable, as long as there's money in it.
Yeah.
It's my hobby
How
now.
can there not be
At the age I am, it's just a hobby for me.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it.
Yeah.
I could probably manage on the state pension. But it stops becoming a hobby when it stops earning money.
Well, the fun goes out it because you're just doing something that's setting
Fun
you
goes out of
backwards.
it, yeah. You do get a kick out of getting a good trade for your heifers or your bullocks, and the bank manager gets a smile on his face.
Oh, you don't still have a bank manager. Come on.
Well,
You'll know I held
I
him
must
for a
have
while. He might be phoning you for a tap. But, I mean, you obviously get an absolute fortune for your heifers at the recent sale, because Natalie, the bull sale there at Stirling, because Natalie and I had a Phuket try to buy one that went way over our budget. And then she did try for another one right enough after that. But
which went even more over the budget.
and she went even more. I don't know. I've not quite edited that video together, but basically, I think we agreed 6, and then we went to 7, and then I think Natalie for that one she was still in at 8.5, and we're going halfers on it. And honestly, my heart was going like, I'm going over $4,000 for half a heifer. I'm like, Natalie, stop! Like, it was like Ian's through the ring.
Aye,
going,
but the good bloodlines are.
that's the way it is
good
now.
bloodlines.
But it's great to
But
see.
as I said earlier, Cammy, if you put a Simmental bull out with those really, really good pedigree shorthorn herds and produced first cross heifers, what did you say the ling heifers were made?
Yeah, $4,000. I mean,
You're going to be 4,000 and 5,000, no registration, no clipping, dressing, washing, preparing for a pedigree sale.
there was a sale. I want to say it was at UA. Salea Cross heifers.
Yeah,
Were over $4,000.
yeah,
No, tell a lie. Simlings,
yeah.
very fashionable. There's your Simmental again.
Yeah.
Simlings were over $4,000. Aye, over $4,000.
Good, any breed.
For a commercial
Limmy or
heifer.
Limmy cross and
Aye.
any kind of good quality breeding heifers, 4,000 to 5,000. So 6,000 or 7,000 for a pedigree one is not expensive.
No, that's
Not
fair.
a comparison.
As you say, for the bloodlines and
From where I'm sitting,
Yeah.
it's not.
no.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and it's nice to see we're now at a stage where, because I could never believe, like, I'd go to a Blackie Tup sale and you'd see the prices that are banded about for all these Blackie Tup lambs that have taken 6 months to. Now, I know it's
Juice,
years and
yeah.
years of work to get the breeding, but 6 months of looking after, bit of grazing, bit of feeding, bring them to sale, and you know, you wouldn't hear about a tup at 5,000 or 10,000. It's nothing to them. Whereas you go to a bull sale, and there'd be hardly a bull at 10,000, and you're like, this thing's been kept for 2 years, fed like hell, you know, fed God knows how much feed, the amount of work that's involved in a bull, and I could never understand how the, you know, this disparity of it.
There's not the return on investment
Of
in
a bull.
cattle
Yeah.
than there is in sheep.
But it's more
And that's
consistent.
why young people always start with sheep, because you can start with a bit of money and get a quick return.
Yeah. But I suppose the argument is we're now seeing that coming through with the bulls, that even commercial men now are quite happy. Well, maybe not quite happy, but will pay that 10,000 for a bull now because it's 3 fat, or, you know, 3 or 4, well, what is it, 4 store cattle,
Yeah.
5 store cattle.
That's right.
So like they can really justify that. And maybe the bull guys are getting a better return for their investment now.
I would like to think so, because otherwise why bother doing it? Just produce commercial cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely fascinating. Is there a obviously we should give a shout out to the reason you're actually here, Derek, is the fact that we borrowed a bull from you very kindly. We borrowed a bull, Peroni,
Called Fern Peroni, yeah.
Fern Peroni. Ferns get mentioned far too much in this farm because every cow I've got is from Fern Farm, and now the bull was bred by Fern Farm. But here's your bull. Has he bred well in the past?
He has bred well. The senior champion at Stars of the Future on Saturday is by Fern Peroni.
Yeah, so there we go.
There
Is
you
that
go.
and that's potentially one we'll see at a sale next February?
That's May probably.
May for him, is it? So
It is at the moment. It's May, yeah.
keep an eye out from him under obviously the Coxhill prefix
Yeah.
for the Shorthorns. You're coming to take him back and use him again for some of your own.
We are wanting to run him with some cows just now, yeah.
Yeah, so we have 5 cows in Calfton, which is exciting. They're due in April, May. So obviously we'll see how that goes. But no, thank you very much for that. And I dare say in the future as we build up, we've bought enough Fern cattle now.
Yeah, I think you need to buy a bull now.
We need to buy a bull now. Yeah. So, but as the stockman you're talking about, I'll also seek advice from him about how to where I'm going to buy a bull and stuff like that. So I'll. Thankfully, I don't need to make too many big decisions, but I'm sure we'll be having a look at yours as well. Got to return the favour, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's
but-
not, Derek, he's no daft. He's like, lend this man a bill, I need to buy a bill back. It will keep the whole thing sweet.
Yeah.
We did try to buy a heifer, to be fair, to square it up. But
Aye, and we appreciate that.
we'll need to
That
try
is-
again. We'll need to
Yeah.
try again with a bull
That's
in the future.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about it that you think I've skipped over or anything, Derek, to talk about?
No, I'm very happy. Cammy, if you think that's...
No, fascinating. Listen, I dare say there's folks shouting at things saying you never asked them
I
this.
know,
or
I know.
People that know you better will know maybe stories about things you've sold or stock and things that I don't know to ask you. But no, I appreciate it. To finish, you obviously went out this. You mentioned this Simmental cross. For my own knowledge as well, is that just because she's such a big milky cow, easy calved? Is that why we like a Simmental? Why do we like a Simmental?
I just have a soft spot for red and white cattle. and they're very... and there's a lot of men in Aberdeen think the same.
And that's who's buying the big stores.
Red and white cattle sell well in Scotland.
Okay.
You know, it could be any breed. It doesn't have to be Simmental. You could crush your Shorthorn with an Angus and produce a nice black heifer with a white belly.
Yeah.
That would make a
Yeah.
good hard working cow.
Yeah, it's just that Simmental, the colours makes a bonny pen of heifers and there'll be size there and
A
milk
bit of scope and a bit of size.
easy calving and beef, plenty of beef on them.
We all talk about efficiency in farming and that these cows need to be small and efficient, but they have to have a certain amount of power about them to rear 10 calves in a lifetime and
True.
a
Yeah.
good udder and all the other things. I don't want I don't want cows that are economically too big,
Yes.
but I don't want little puny cows either that.
And how many of these Shorthorns I've got, how many calves would I get out a normal Shorthorn? Like, there's a question for you.
Eight
Just
or
to
10.
work out if my investment's going to pay back or not.
8 or 10.
Ah, would you? That's all right.
Well, I would like to think so. We have cows in the herd now that were born in 2013 and 14 and 15, so they're over 10-year-old now.
Yeah. Okay.
We haven't got a mass of them. It's a decision you have to take yourself. Those cows are worth 2,500 to kill now, so do you just say,
Yeah.
you've done me well, my dear, you're 10-year-old, just pop off and we'll keep a heifer in your place.
Yes, because
Yeah.
and that is the cull cow price has been a big factor with a lot of herds, I think,
Yeah.
and actually, the Scottish government and other people, I think that it's really helped them with their push towards this more efficient, these more efficient herds, because it's such an easy choice now.
Speaking to some of the auctioneers at UA last week, and talking about the cattle trade and the so-called calf trade and so on, they are markedly down in the number of heifer calves that's come through this year compared to the number of males. And they're up again in the number of cull cows that's coming through. So their take on that is that people are keeping their heifer calves, culling the cow,
Good.
which is good for their farm business because it keeps the stock young.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And
Makes
if you're
everything
going the
more
right,
efficient.
if you're going the right way, but you're younger, you should be improving every generation.
Yes.
So it's good to see that happening.
Superb. No, well, listen, thank you very much. We'll go and get
Yes,
this bull
thank
loaded,
you.
hopefully. And I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
And we're back. Thanks to Derek for that one. Derek was actually here picking up his bull Fern Peroni, which is another Fern genetics into the herd. But yeah, Fern Peroni, absolute monster. He was a big guy I put on Facebook at like, I can't even remember, 1,200 kilos. Absolute monster of a bull. So thank you to Derek for the loan of the bull. Hopefully you're happy with your podcast, and it was great to twist his arm right enough a bit, Derek.
Yes.
I'm not saying everybody that's been on the podcast is down with all the social media stuff we do, but it was definitely a new experience for Derek.
Oh,
and,
definitely, yeah.
I had to twist his arm a little bit to do it, but I'm glad that he did, and I think it's just great hearing for these people and their stories.
Oh, 100%.
So great work, Derek. We did try and buy a heifer off him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we did. Natalie, who has cattle here as well, on livery, we tried to buy a heifer, but his heifer went to 7,000 or 8,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we mentioned that in the podcast there about how good his heifers are doing. Well, and all these cattle. So we'll maybe need a bull in February, so you never know. You never know.
Never know.
We'll be at the bull sales in February, try to buy one.
That's exciting. Like, don't you think though, like with your channel as well and everything, like having the cattle, it just expands it all so much. Like the bull sales, like that'll be so interesting for people to see. Or would you film at that?
Oh,
Or
we'd
too
film.
busy?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that'd be so interesting for people to see.
Oh, it just adds, it's just everything's new and learning and exciting. Like it just keeps it. Whereas before, we got the farm, it was just sheep in a field all the time.
Yeah.
It was the same all the time, which we still managed to make it fun, I think, and go to sales, and it was, it was great. The amount of people that enjoyed it, but I just think it's sky's the limit. I mean, we've got a Jersey cow.
Exactly.
More to come on that via the sheep game, but yeah, got to start somewhere.
100%.
Go to
That's
start.
where you're good though. You just don't really overthink it. You just go for it.
What's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? I stick a couple of shorthorn calves on it, and might have a set of twins. I'll stick a calf on, and that'll do. I'll get that idea up my head.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing with the milk? You just drinking it?
Aye, that's all you can do.
What's it like?
Unbelievable,
Is it?
unbelievable.
Would you have it like in a coffee, or you just having it
No,
on its
have
own?
it my latte
Aye,
in the
just
morning.
everything.
I'm still on my diet, so I've cut out breakfast. I just have a latte now.
Right.
So before I was having my wee toast and peanut butter and banana. Just cut that out and I just have my latte.
Right.
But there's so much fat in the Jersey milk.
Yeah, you'll be
honestly
getting
keeps you
nice
going.
fats.
Oh, could keep you going to dinner.
Really?
Oh, easy. Aye.
One coffee?
Aye. Well, you get hungry, but in a good way.
Right.
Like gives you energy. I can't
Right.
explain it. I'm feeling so much better already.
Are you?
Oh, and this plantar fasciitis. Did I speak about this last week about
Not
these
last
insoles?
week.
I should save it for Friday chat, really. But I'll mention it here. Folk are listening and loving it. I think if you're this far in, you're loving it. So bought insoles at the Royal Welsh Show, right? Who'd have thought the Welsh Show is not the place to buy medical insoles, right? Turns out took them to this place in Glasgow because we dosed 1,000 lambs one day, right? And stand in the one spot all day.
Terrible.
On the hard, could barely walk in the house. I'm like, I need to do something here. I says, this just cannot go on. Because the crux of it is, no matter how much you stretch, like I've done all these calf stretches, rolling the feet. A nice gentleman dropped in a wooden block made with a spanner in the middle of it, and it was perfect. That one I took down to Yorkshire Show.
Right.
That's how long I've been doing stuff. No matter how much you try all that stuff, you're still 12 hours a day in your feet. And I've got heel spurs as well. It's not just a plantar fasciitis. There's like calcium bone on my heels.
God.
It's like causing it irritation. Anyway, went to this place in Glasgow. They're rubbish. It's
Right,
like,
okay.
we're going to take a cast to your foot and get you
Also,
proper
can I
ones.
just say, sorry to interrupt, random that there would be a stall at the Welsh Show selling insoles.
Yeah, very random.
It's random, isn't it?
Random. But anyway, a lot of farmers have plantar fasciitis and sore feet.
Right.
So it does make sense.
Yeah.
They got me. But anyway, went to this place, and as soon as they brought out this sole, you could just tell it was different gravy. It was 400 quid though. But I'm at the point now where,
Worth it.
now it has been, but it's worth the risk because I just need to
Yeah.
do something, and I didn't know what else to do. So I'm like, yep, go for it. The next step was probably like injections or something for the pain. So bear in mind, this has been going on since February. So got these insoles. and this is me at this point. I'm like 4 days into this diet of cutting out the carbs and try to, eat healthier. And 2 days, pain's gone.
Really?
No joking you.
Really?
Aye. Still a wee bit sensitive in the mornings.
Right, okay.
Like I still walk down the stairs on my toes, but I can work all day. No pain.
Just with the insoles?
Just with these insoles. I'm not saying it's that. I'm wondering if maybe because everybody says that that kind of diet is great for aches and pains because it lets your body focus on healing itself rather than dealing with what's in your gut.
Right, okay.
The big problem with us eating processed foods and all this rubbish. And hey, I'm not a dietitian. I'm just a farmer that's trying it out, and I'm just telling you my experience. So don't come at me with any facts. I'm just telling you how I feel. But
That was quite strict, guys, wasn't it?
because you shouldn't take. If you're listening to this and taking dietary information for a farmer that doesn't know anything about that, then more fool you. Like, I'm just telling you my experiences. That's all this podcast is. So don't say Cammy said this, right? I don't want to hear that. Just do what makes you happy. But like the science in it makes sense to me. It's like we're eating all these processed foods and all this crap, and like your gut's working, focusing its energy and dealing with all this poison you're putting in your body all the time, rather than dealing with other problems around your body.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that didn't have an effect, but anyway, I think it will be mostly the soles. But within 2 days,
That's amazing.
pain free. I think it literally is just them taking the pressure off those heel spurs, those wee sharp bits of bone.
So is that what it is in your heels? Just wee sharp bits of bone?
Apparently, so that's what a heel spur is. Like calcifies somehow. Yeah. But just honestly, see, just the like, it's hard to explain. You almost feel like your neck is less tense because like you don't have the
You'll
pain
have
all
been
day.
so it'll be so tight as well. Like
Just like everything, just like see, just walking about in pain all day. It's like
it's horrible.
it's just like, it feels like you can sag your shoulders a wee bit. Like, do you know what I mean? You're just like, the pain's away. Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% perfect yet. As I say, it's still a wee bit tender in the mornings, which is when plantar fasciitis is the worst because your ligaments, obviously your feet don't move through the night and they seize up. But yeah, different gravy. I see the end now.
That's so good.
I see the end now. So.
Yeah, chronic pain, horrific.
It's just that day when I could barely walk in the house. Like, I had to get Lizzie to give me a hand to get in the house because my right foot just totally went and I was in agony, absolute agony. So I put it in an ice bath and that helped a bit. But yeah, that's my aches and pains. But there'll be people out there with plantar fasciitis suffering as well.
There's so many folk messaged and stuff about it.
Yeah. But and listen, if it's a mild case and you're maybe not out on your feet all day, do your stretching and all these things. You absolutely. I'm sure it absolutely does work. My problem is we're just out all day on our feet, all over the place. Andy's heel spurs, she was saying that's what
So
the
it's
girl
like
was
an
saying.
extra.
Like an extra.
Is that the bit in Glasgow you went to?
Yeah, it's called Glasgow. I'll put it up on the screen.
Is it Foot Clinic or something?
Yeah, there's loads of Glasgow foot clinics, but
are
it's
there?
like Glasgow Foot and something clinic. It's on Great Western Road. That's what to do. Glasgow Foot Clinic, Great Western Road. Just look that up. That is the one I went to. I'm not saying they're the best. It's the only one I've been to. So,
But worked for you.
And it was it's expensive again. I know that, but it's
Worth
not.
it.
It's not expensive now.
No.
Like I'd have paid double. That's the honest
Yeah,
truth, to deal with it. And I wish I'd went back. I wish I went 6 months ago.
I know.
But it was just that catalyst of barely being able to walk in the house. I'm like, I need to do something here.
Yeah.
This is madness. So yeah, that was us. Anything else happened with you?
No.
Any aches and pains? Yeah, we should say check out the merch store. This jumper I'm wearing is not in the merch store. This is an old sample we got.
Do we just make this into a Friday chat and just do a wee 20-minute one?
No, but we'll come back and do another one, will we?
Okay.
We'll just leave this out as the main one.
Right.
Iona and I were debating to do a Friday chat, but we'll just, I'm busy, but Iona's got a lot more to do. There's like 300 orders sitting. So thank you everybody for the support. If you like to support the podcast, do jump on. If you know somebody that listens to the podcast, although if you listen to this, you listen to the podcast, or maybe you're sitting in the car with somebody that listens to the podcast, give them a wee side eye look now and think, I've got your Christmas sorted. If you just made eye contact, that would be quite funny.
That would be funny.
That's your Christmas sorted. Go to fedbyfarmers.co.uk, or you can go to the sheepgame.co.uk. You can get a Fed by Farmers merch there and throw in a wee sheep game, beef game, dairy game thing. Fed Farming Born and Bred. It's growing all the time, eh?
I know. A lot going on.
Poor you. Poor you. Okay, let's wrap it up there and let's get on with things. And we will have another Friday chat this week. We're on it now. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we're all
Fed by Farmers.